Today we are sharing the top things to do right now in Salem, Oregon, according to TripAdvisor. So we are two Oregonian natives, and we are going to just go down this list, read you guys what these top things are, and then maybe give a little bit of our opinion on these things. But first, before we get into it, if you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are a top producing husband and wife real estate team here in Oregon. And we get calls, texts, and emails from people like you that are watching our videos and are thinking about relocating to Oregon all the time. If that's you, don't hesitate to reach out. We would love to work with you as well. I'll put our contact information in the description.
You know what's funny, though? You bring up TripAdvisor, and
yes,
it's like we take Google to heart. Whenever we travel somewhere, we say, hey, what to do in this particular area. I'm sure we have all done this as a traveler. You don't know the area. You're not a local. You're not a native. You're just wanting to know what to do and what's out there. Well, this is significant.
Yeah.
Because if it says it on TripAdvisor and you're here in Salem, right, or this area, Oregon, I mean, are you actually going to do it or not? Is TripAdvisor accurate? Like, that's something I've always struggled with when I travel. I'm like, is this real? Should I do it? But then you're like, I don't know any better, so you might as well do it. Well, so I'm curious what this is going to be on the list today.
Do you want to know? We haven't really reviewed these. Do you want to know how they came up with these? So
absolutely.
These are straight from the people. These are,
and that's what I'm saying. It's from the people.
Yeah, they're straight from they took these straight from traveler reviews. They consider the quality, quantity, and consistency of reviews. So let's see what they have to say. This first one is Shriner's Iris Gardens. Now,
have we gone there?
I have never heard of this.
That's the thing.
I've never heard of it.
Where's it located? What part? Portland?
We could look it up. I don't know.
Because like we have nursery and gardens all around us.
No, this is all in Salem.
This is in Salem. I mean, we could. I mean, I feel like that's the one off Commercial Street.
Shriner's Iris Garden. Okay, hold on. I think I've been here, but I think I just didn't realize.
No, it's Northeast Salem.
I didn't realize that was the name.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. Yeah, the lilies.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, daisies.
Yeah.
They have a season. It's a beautiful season with blooming flowers. It's not like the nursery style garden.
I wouldn't have expected that to be number one, though.
Of things to do?
Yeah.
When did you do this list, though? Was it seasonal?
This is just in general.
Well, regardless, I mean, what's cool is we do have multiple nurseries. We'll just point out this one, though, Shriner's Iris Gardens. Yeah. I mean, it is beautiful. I've driven past it. I've never personally been there. I've never purchased flowers from it. There are select few gardens that I will particularly go to, nurseries, because of my background, my family. I want to go support those particular local businesses because they are usually family-run and organic and just a really beautiful thing to support, I would say, within the seasons.
Yeah. Okay, this next one is Enchanted Forest Theme Park. So this is seasonal. Yes, this is only going to be open during, I think it opens like late spring, sometime in the spring, and then summer, but definitely worth visiting.
I thought it was interesting.
If you have kids, honestly, I would have a fun day there even without kids. It's just a fun place to like walk around and see. It's definitely not something you see everywhere. I won't really go into talk about it too much, but it's very, very unique. It's definitely worth seeing.
I mean, I'm a 27-year-old adult. I bring my daughter there with Mariah. I'm more interested in it because literally I have no childhood memories of this place. Even though my parents said they've brought me to the Enchanted Forest, the first time I'd been back, I think, was this year.
Really?
I mean, it's like no joke. I had like no memories. Even though I went in my past as a kid.
Funny.
I can't excuse my parents from that one. But I mean, I was actually like, this is pretty cool. It's like it's a historical rustic moment in Americana. Yeah. And I think it's amazing. The fairy tale stories, the artwork, the appreciation of sculptures.
Yeah.
Everything was handmade and built, and it's all on a hillside. So if you don't like walking, I mean, get tougher. You're going to need to have some thick thighs maybe to get through these hills.
You're going to walk a lot of hills.
But once you're at the top, it does level out.
Yeah.
I thought it's not a knockoff Disneyland by any means, but it's its own entity, I would say. Yeah. It's its own unique experience. Not the biggest place in the world. It's definitely something you can go to for 2.5, 3 hours and be on with your way. Yeah. And I was fairly happy with it. There are some rides. I wouldn't go there specifically for amusement rides.
Yeah, there's not too many rides.
I'm more about the experience while I was there. So walk through everything, take it slow, read the descriptions. It's a fairy tale land. And I thought it was a really interesting place and a beautiful historical thing for Americana history.
It's definitely worth seeing. Okay, the next is Salem Riverfront Carousel. So at our riverfront, our riverfront park downtown Salem, there. Okay, I think I heard somewhere that now that Riverfront Park is connected to Minto Brown, which is another like huge dog park, but also like walking, bike riding trails and whatever.
You can't go wrong.
It's the second biggest park in the country, next to like Central Park or something.
In our backyard.
Think I heard that now that they're connected.
Yeah.
But anyway, lots of walking trails, kids playground, amphitheater, all of that. Really pretty in the summer. There's a lot of people, just like there's people playing Frisbee. There's people having picnics. It's just a fun place to go. There's the river. There's the little ferry thing you can ride on. Yeah. But this is the carousel. And so it's a fun little place to go if you have kids.
What's cool is the carousel usually can connect and revert to other things while you're already placed downtown. Mm-hmm. Parking's free. Yeah. Usually you can always find a place to park in the carousel parking, which is unbelievable, I think. But your experience at the carousel then can roll into, hey, do you want to take a walk downtown, explore the little side streets, the pub restaurants, or do you want to focus at the riverfront? And literally, Mariah and I, we can go there and spend hours, and even a half a day at the riverfront. If we just want to individually walk and talk, that's like how we connect sometimes, is we'll go find the water or hiking trails. It's not on a mountain by any means, but it's just walking paths.
Trails,
And it's really pleasant and beautiful.
Yeah, and then also during the summer, there is always events going on like almost every weekend at that particular park. Yeah. Okay, next is the Oregon State Capitol. This is another place.
How often is the doors unlocked, though?
No, well, I think it's meaning more like the gardens, because there's really beautiful gardens. There's fountains. In front of it, there's this beautiful, I don't know, is it like a park? Do you know the big grassy area right in front of it?
Yeah,
where there's
I know
there's
exactly
like the splash pad or like the fountain kids can run through. Like it's another area that like
it's
it's
awesome in the summer.
Fun to go in. I mean, last time I was there, I had a picnic there, and I think it was like 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but it's a really, really nice spot. It's really pretty.
I mean, I always
it's free.
I remember running to the Capitol, and I thought I was Rocky. Right, you run up the steps, and
that was a long run though for you.
It was a long run. It was like 5-6 miles.
We didn't live by it at the time,
but like it was a destination for me to go to, even being an Oregonian. I mean, all the first grade classes in public schools generally do a field trip to the Oregon State Capitol. And seasonally, I mean, they do have an excellent, beautiful garden. They have a greenery, and they're right next to Willamette University, which also has a beautiful quad. I mean, it's an historical place here in Oregon. Older buildings, older architecture, which I always am excited to see. And it's a beautiful building. I mean, the golden man, as they say, he carries a sack of potatoes. It's quite unbelievable and a sight to see. I think visually it's a beautiful place for a photo in front of the steps.
Yeah, it's definitely something to go see. It's a lot more appealing to go to in the summer or spring months, but it's a good place to go. Okay, so the next is Minto Brown Island Park. This is in South Salem area off River Road, not too far from downtown, and this is a really beautiful, really just lots of walking trails, big park, bike riding trails, huge dog park.
Nothing mountainous. You're going to be able, what I like about this place is you're able to walk along the Willamette River.
Yeah.
Now, seasonally, flooding does happen, especially here in Oregon. We do have big, heavy rains, and this area tends to be not swampland, but it's more, It's a recreation area that has higher waters. It's a flood zone, basically. So you just got to be careful to stay on the right walking path. Seasonally, some paths are flooded out. So just be aware. Usually signs are up just saying, hey, go this way. Because it is a big park. You can actually get lost in it. There's so many walking trails. Yeah. It is flat, not necessarily hiking going uphill. You can bring your dogs there. There's a play structure. You can have birthday parties as well. But I always like using it for the dog park side of it. It's a big, basic rectangular area. Then there's walking trails along the back side of it for you and your pet and animal. And it is open leash. You don't have to have dogs on a leash in that particular area, which I thought was pretty cool when I briefly babysat a dog. Okay, this next place, I don't know if you've ever been here. It's Deepwood Museum and Gardens. No, I haven't.
So you've definitely driven by it, but you probably haven't realized what it was. It's right by, we drive by it all the time, on Mission Street. It's right, no, Mission Street, it's by Bush Park. It's on the other side. It's that like gazebo looking thing with all the pretty flowers in the spring. And then there's that like historic building. Let me pull up a picture so you can see. See
Oh,
that building?
yeah, my cousin got married there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
beautiful.
It would be beautiful for
This
a
was
wedding.
like 15 years ago. But
I've seen people do like senior photos there, family photos. Like it's a great photo place, like for if you want to do like a family photo shoot or whatever.
Wow, I'm glad that's on the list though.
Yeah,
I remember being there. It was beautiful, and it's an historical building, which I always love being parts of the central downtown Salem area. Historical, just architecture is pretty cool. Being in real estate, I enjoy that.
Did you go inside the building? In the
I
museum?
think briefly we did, but the wedding service it was in the back, and I just remember it was pretty. It was very, very pretty.
That's cool. I've never been inside, but I've been outside. But I feel like a lot of these things that are on this list are gonna be not very enjoyable or like not too much to see if it's during the winter months, unfortunately, but we'll keep going. Okay, so the next is Gilbert House Children's Museum. This is definitely something it's something worth doing in the area if you have kids.
I mean, you just recently went. Give me an experience. Give me like a tool that they had that you thought was unique for the kids and their experience.
Well, is there 2 or 3 different houses? I'm not quite sure.
2 or 3.
But these are like historic houses, and each house has a different room. I'm trying to describe it. And like,
very unique.
Very unique. It's a museum. So like one of the rooms is like a farm room, and there's all sorts of things for kids to do, but it like also is educational. And then another room is a
Science-y.
Is a what's it called? The space, going to outer space. Why can't I think?
The glass room.
No, it's like the jet that goes. Okay, I'm totally blanking. Anyway,
ship.
it's like an outer space themed room, and there's like this gravity thing. There's a lot of cool things like that, basically. And then there's a whole outdoor area, a giant playground. There's a giant sand pit area where kids can dig. Like it's definitely
Scentsy toys.
I was ready to leave, but my daughter could have stayed all day. So it was.
Yeah. The cool thing is it's more hands-on. I mean, the kids are getting a hands-on experience, more sense feeling. And then the science side of it, I think it's really used as more of an educational tool. A lot of the public schools here in Oregon used to at least bring their classes as a field trip there. And that was my first experience ever at the Gilbert House. And I just remember there was like this really cool bubble contraption. Was that still there?
The bubble room was under construction.
Okay, so maybe they're remodeling if they take it away, whatever. But I had this big hula hoop, basically, right? And there was a bottom side and a top side. It elevated. You're surrounded by a big bubble. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool and unique. That's my memory. And then obviously the outdoor playground structure. It's that wooden structure, an old school structure that, I mean, you can play endless lava tag on it. It's so big.
The next is Willamette Heritage Center. Now, do you know
that's a downtown, right?
I don't know. I don't actually know what Willamette Heritage Center is.
Well, Willamette
Heritage Center.
Usually, hey, Google that one because I don't want to lead people to downtown versus Lancaster. I think Willamette, that name is Lancaster side. Willamette Heritage Center. No. That is
did
where
we go to a wedding.
We went there for a wedding.
Wait, okay, I didn't know this.
That's an historical building.
I thought it was called something different.
Yep.
I totally thought. Okay, but also I've been here once for.
There used to be like a cotton mill or something in there too.
Yes, I've been here once for
the weaving. Wool.
A beautiful wedding venue upstairs, but I've also been here for a Christmassy thing. They had like Christmas lights, and you can walk through it.
I went there on a private tour with my public school. I think it was
for a field trip.
Yeah, for a field trip.
Okay.
So a lot of historical relevance in this, and it was a boom when the Industrial Revolution happened.
Yeah.
It was an industry, I believe, for clothing, blankets, cotton, that type of thing.
Mission Mill Museum. That's what I thought the name was, Mission Mill. So I did not recognize Willamette Heritage Center.
Yeah, if there's some type of tour there that you can see online, view online, this place is the Willamette Heritage Center. Yeah. I like history. So if you can ever go explore in particular areas, I love walking through malls, museums, that type of thing whenever I travel. So we only have a few historical buildings such as this. If there is some type of tour, take it. I think it would be well worth your while. There are wedding venues there, though, of course. There's dinner parties for companies and events. But if they provide a tour and that's the service, try it out. I think it could be unique.
This next one is Willamette University. Spencer touched on this, but it's definitely... I feel like I forget about it, but it's such a beautiful place to just go for a walk.
We do forget about it.
Historic, and it is such a beautiful campus. It's definitely worth just checking out and going for a walk.
It's so weird though, because like for our case, we went to high school. A lot of our graduate class, I mean, never even chose Willamette as an option. And I don't know if it's
very
due to the
niche.
financial, the structure, and also the degree. It's I believe it's known as a law school, more attorney driven. And it's one of those things, it's not forgotten about by any means, but it is fairly expensive. But the campus itself, it's amazing. We just go on walks downtown all the way through, and what do you know? Willamette University is there, and we love going through the quad, the greenery, the trees are massive in some areas on this campus, and it's all brick, and I think they do a very, very good job of just landscaping and keeping it in its historical state, and that's really something I can appreciate, is that architecture side to the way this school looks as an appearance, and that is part of our great city of Salem. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's definitely worth going on a walk by. It's another place you see people doing like family photos, like Christmas photos, that type of thing. They're often
we did
popular
not birth photos, but like when she was 1, we did our family photo shoot there, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Okay. The next one is Riverfront Park. We already kind of touched on this. That's basically the park we were talking about, where the Salem Riverfront Carousel is at.
Get your walking shoes. Find the park. Find the walk you want to go to. You can go over a bridge into West Salem. You can come back and then go to Minnow Brown from Riverfront. There's so many cool options, and then especially when there's concerts or just things happening, the Iron Man event. I mean, there was every state represented in the United States here at the downtown Riverfront, which I thought was unbelievable, with the festival and concert attached to it at the end as a celebration. So there's a lot going on that Riverfront is used for, and generally seasonally, spring through the end of summer, there's something going on.
Yeah. The next one, I'm kind of surprised that this is on the list. Willamette Valley Fruit Company. I thought it was called Willamette Valley Pie Company, but maybe I'm wrong. I want to say if you put it in your GPS, it'll be Willamette Valley Pie Company. I'm pretty sure there's 2 locations. I know there's one that's more like in Northeast Salem, and then there might be one in Silverton, but the one I've been to is in closer to like Northeast Salem area, like Cordon Road, that area. It's cute little, it's a farm, and they have a great little coffee shop, homemade pies, had a smoothie there once. They have a little like kids playground. It's nothing, I don't know. Like I said, I was surprised it's on the list because it's not like this huge attraction, but it's something to do in the area.
They're known.
Yeah.
They're known. A lot of people love the pies, and it's farm fresh, it's fruit. They've got a beautiful selection, and I haven't personally ever been there. I've only heard of it online and from pre-ordering pies. Yeah. It's generally where I hear of it. Yeah. But I'm sure like you can go find like fresh picked fruits seasonally and hand pick things. Blueberry season, strawberry season, raspberries, all that happens.
Well, that is it for today. Thanks for hanging out with us. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, because we come on here every single week and talk about all things moving to, living in, and real estate in Oregon. And we'll see you next week.